Hello and welcome to episode 10 of the Sal Licata Show podcast. Download, subscribe, rate wherever you smash that like button, yo. Smash that like button. I appreciate it. I appreciate the comments, but it's just weird saying that. Anyway, let's begin. We got a bunch of topics that I want to get to the head coaching stuff or the assistant coaching stuff, I should say, the coordinating stuff with both the Jets and the Giants. I also want to get into the Yankees a little bit off of the comments yesterday from both Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman. Will debut a brand new segment called Six with Sal. We'll do that later on with Bada Booms. And I want to start with the Giannis stuff, though, with the Knicks yesterday. So we recorded yesterday, and then that news came out from Shams, ESPN, saying that it is likely that Giannis is, in fact, going to be moved at some point. The future with the Bucks is it's basically not existent for Giannis, whether it's going to be traded this year or traded at the in the offseason. So this is nothing new. We talked about this, as a matter of fact. I mean, this is only episode 10. One of the episodes, I forget which one, we were talking about the Knicks and Giannis and how I felt that this is likely going to happen. So now there are different layers to it. And the main one would be that if he is to be moved now, like maybe the Knicks would have been better off if Giannis and the Bucks got through the season and then at the end of the season said, you know what, I don't want to be here anymore, trade me. And then the Knicks would be in a better spot with the picks that they would have available to be able to trade then. So that's number one. Whereas you have teams like Miami, and it's always freaking Miami, isn't it? Pat Riley and the Knicks still battling all these years later. And that's the one team that would concern me a little bit from a Knicks perspective in trying to go after Giannis. A, because of Pat Riley. B, because it's Miami and a tremendous location. C, because they're going to have a chance to build a winner. I mean, they've done it before. So I would think that that would be an appealing destination for Giannis. So I would be, from a Knicks perspective, even though I still think Giannis prefers the Knicks, and I in my gut, I still feel like the Knicks are going to find a way to make that happen. I would be and am legitimately concerned about the chances of the Heat getting him. I know there's going to be other teams involved as well. I don't know how this is going to look. Like we've seen the reports and rumors about all these different players going this way, that way, 3-team trades, and Drew Holiday being involved. Okay, so there's a lot to that I'll be honest with you, I have no clue about. But from a Knicks perspective, there are a couple of thoughts. A, should they make this move to go all in and try to get Giannis? And then B, well, what would you give up to get him? So as far as A goes, the way that I would answer this is, do you think if you watch this Knicks team, and for me, it goes back to last year. I made my definitive decision a year ago. I wasn't sure if I wanted to break up Randall, dating back a couple years now. I wasn't sure if I wanted to, before last season, wasn't sure if I wanted to break up the Randall, Brunson, OG, that iteration of this team before seeing it fully play out with a healthy roster. Because when Anunoby first got traded for, they traded RJ Barrett quickly, they bring in OG Anunoby, and Randall was healthy. The Knicks were playing like the best team in the NBA. Then Randall gets hurt, and obviously we know what happens. They get hurt, they fall short against the Pacers, Game 7. Okay, fine. So then going into the offseason or during that offseason, there are two thought processes. One, run it back with Randall and company and see how far you can go before breaking it up and making the decision. Or B, saying, you know what, we've determined that no matter what, this group just isn't it, and we need to get a star that could take us to another level. And they went with option B. I'm going with option B. And they chose to trade for Karl-Anthony Towns. And as soon as that came out, I loved it. I remember doing an instant reaction and all about it right away. This is the right move. They needed to get a superstar. Even though I love the Randall version, they got the superstar, the right one, I thought at the time, in Karl-Anthony Towns. He was available, a big who can shoot, something that the Knicks needed, even if it meant Devo going the other way. Randall, obviously, you got to trade something to get something, whatever. I was good with it. So then we watched it play out last year. And I knew, at least I felt, and I still believe I know, but whatever, we'll see what happens here. I knew that it was not going to be good enough after watching last year's postseason with Towns and Brunson being the two top dogs on this team, the two stars. It just wasn't working. Regular season was good. Postseason, less than that. Towns just does things that drives me nuts. The out-of-control offensive fouls, the inconsistency, the makeup, the attitude at times. And it's sad for me to say that because I loved the trade at first, and there were a lot of things that I liked about Karl-Anthony Towns when he first got here. but I just don't believe that they will ever win a championship with the roster as currently constructed. And I never thought that Tibbs was the problem. I thought that it was the stars or Towns in this particular case specifically, because Brunson's not going anywhere, and nor do I want him to go anywhere. But he's also not a perfect superstar that can help you overcome some deficiencies of other star players on your team. And the two of them combined are horrific defensively. So the Knicks, last offseason going into the year, instead of saying Towns ain't it, they decided to run it back with Towns, bring in a better bench, which in theory should help the Knicks be better this year. Better bench, bring back Towns, so keep it intact for another year. But they make the determination that, much like they felt the year before, that Randall wasn't good enough. Now, Tibbs is not the right guy to get them over the hump. So Randall and Tibbs, the two guys who brought the Knicks back to relevancy, stability, sustained success, Tibbs, Randall. Now both of them are gone. Randall, the first one, he's not it. Then it was Tibbs last offseason. He's not it. We got to get better than that. And now, almost midway through the season, wherever we're at here, early, the season with the Knicks, some great, some god awful. Record's still fine as far as being one of the top teams in the East, but they're right there with 5 or 6 people. They've been playing better the last few games. Okay, great. But when you watch this team, do you really think that it's worth giving this team a go, keeping it intact for the remainder of the season, taking a run of the championship? I don't. I don't think Mike Brown, I'll be respectful here. I don't think Mike Brown, although I want to say, like, it's coming out. I can't help it. Mike Clown. I don't think Mike Clown is the right head coach. That's obvious. I've been on record saying that many different times. And I don't think that these are the right players to win a championship. Therefore, why waste time? What? Just do it now. Now, even if you want to keep Mike Clown, you don't want to fire him in season, which I would probably do. Now, you got to come up with an alternative. What are they going to do? That's why I just hated the hire to begin with. But forget the coach for a second, because the bigger issues, and now everybody's focused on that, like ignoring Mike Brown and his issues, and focused on the bigger issues, which is what they should have done after last season, Karl-Anthony Towns. The other aspect of this, and I said this, I alluded to this, I heard from multiple sources. I said this, I think, a while back on one of the podcasts, that Rick Brunson, I never named him before, but I'll name him, I don't care. Rick Brunson is not the biggest fan of both Towns and Mikal Bridges. Now, does that mean that they're going to get traded? I have no idea. But using that information that I heard, combining it with the fact that we all see that this iteration of the Knicks is not good enough to win a championship, whether you want to believe it or not, it's not. And then the fact that Giannis is going to be available, it led me to think that this was going to happen, a couple of days ago, a couple of weeks ago, whatever it was that we recorded that podcast and talked about it. So now we're here. And I don't see the hesitation. I don't care if it's Kolek, Deuce, Picks. Outside of Brunson and Hart, I'm assuming, and it's not because Hart should be untouchable, because he's an integral part of what the Knicks are trying to do. So the idea is you want to replace the star pieces that aren't working with a star piece you believe can fit in without completely destroying the rest of your team. So if it means trading Deuce McBride, who I like, but still, Kolek, whatever, like you move on from those guys. That's it. No questions asked. And obviously those are the ancillary pieces to what you would expect to be, at the minimum, Karl-Anthony Towns and possibly Mikal Bridges as well. And if it's not Bridges, then maybe the other piece would be Mitchell Robinson. And I'd rather trade Bridges than I would Mitchell Robinson. Somebody else I was talking to about the Knicks said that, I don't know if Jeff Van Gundy said this publicly or not, but that Jeff Van Gundy believes that the Knicks, it was after the Clippers were in town, Jeff Van Gundy believes that the Knicks have an outside shot to be a championship team because of Mitchell Robinson and the difference maker that he is on the boards. When you get a beast like that is an elite, high-level, skilled rebounder the way that he is, it's a game changer. So because of that, he can maybe take the Knicks to another level in the postseason. So I wouldn't be looking to give him up either. But, I mean, whichever way you slice it, this isn't working. And to me, the biggest culprits, and it was obvious a year ago, and I stand by it, even watching them again this year, even though Bridges has been better than he was a year ago. I know he was on fire against the Raptors last night as we record this early Thursday morning. Bridges and Towns. Specifically Towns, but if you got to move Bridges as well, and I would think that they'd have to get a player of Giannis's caliber, you got to do it. You can't lose out to the Heat. The Knicks are in their championship window right now. They took one big shot with Karl-Anthony Towns. It doesn't appear that that's going to work. You got to make a decision. You've got to make a decision. If Giannis is available, you go get him, and you see how that looks with Brunson. I don't care about the injuries. I don't care about the age. I think it's worth the risk breaking this up because I don't believe this Knicks team, as is, will win a championship. Breaking it up and going to take a run at another superstar, a different superstar, a proven NBA champion type superstar in Giannis, and seeing what that would look like with Jalen Brunson. Topic number 2. The Yankees spoke yesterday. Boone and Cashman and Bellinger, after bringing Bellinger back, they reintroduced him to the Yankee fan base. And Boone and Cashman both said things that, while I find frustrating, I also understand where they're coming from. Because let's be real, even though we knocked the Yankees for status quo and running it back, and Cashman's like, well, we're not running it back. You are running it back. Like, yeah, I know that there may be a few pieces that aren't going to be the same exact as where you're running it back. So to me, those are just Cashman's saying that just to say that and try to fight off the not the naysayers, but the critics, I guess, in this particular case. Anyway, there's a lot that with both Cashman and Boone said I agree with. The Yankees are a very good team. Last year they won 94 games, and this year on paper they're going to be as good as anybody else in the American League. And it's Cashman, I dare anybody to tell me that we're not a championship team. But every year it's the same thing. Every year the Yankees build a team that can win 90-plus games in the regular season, and every year the Yankees fall short. And tell me the last time without Juan Soto on their roster, and that's relevant because guess what? Juan Soto isn't on their roster. Tell me the last time without Juan Soto on their roster, the Yankees sniffed a world championship. I'll tell you. I mean, we all know it, but I'll tell you anyway. 2009. 2009. Excuse me. 2009. That's a long time ago. So I don't want to hear the same, well, we build a championship team where the Yankees, we won 94 games. The Blue Jays got hot. Maybe some teams in the American League East have gotten worse. Some teams got better. Orioles got better. Red Sox got better. And the Blue Jays are a little different. They lose Bichette, but they bring in Dylan Cease. They bring in Okamoto. So, all right. And the Blue Jays were far better than you were a year ago. It wasn't just one series that you had a bad bounce of the ball. You got pasted in that series. Even Aaron Boone admitted that. Like, it was a non-competitive playoff series. And they beat you up all year long, especially in Toronto. So I don't think the Yankees are as good as they think. But let's just say that they are. Let's just say the Yankees are what Brian Cashman and Aaron Boone say. The best team in the American League, better than the Blue Jays, legitimate championship contender. Okay, great. What would be the harm in trying to upgrade and improve your ball club? The Dodgers are coming off back-to-back World Series championships, and they go out and get Kyle Tucker and Edwin Diaz, two of the best free agents on the board. And they won the championship 2 years in a row. Imagine their owner GM being like, and by the way, they could have said this. No, we're good. We won 2 championships. We're good this offseason. And the fans saying, well, don't you want to improve your ball club? Nah, improve what? We won 2 World Series. You'd be like, you know what? Shit, can't deny that. He's right. They won 2 championships. Who am I to say anything? Instead, after they win a championship a year ago, they go high-end free agency. And then they win one again last year, back-to-back, and they still go high-end free, even higher. Get the best closer on the board, get the best outfielder on the board. And the Yankees are like, nah, we're good. We're good. Cole's coming back. We'll bring Beli back. We'll bring Grisham back. We'll maybe bring Goldie back. So while, I guess in this case, 2 things can be true. The Yankees are still a very good ball club that should make the postseason and be dangerous in the American League. I thought they were going to win it last year. I thought they were going to beat the Blue Jays. I said that. Even in series, I thought they were going to beat the Blue Jays. I was wrong. Well, maybe the Yankees are wrong too. The difference is I acknowledge that I was wrong. I could sit here and say, you know what? I overestimated them. Based on their power and what they did in the regular season, I thought that was going to translate against Toronto, who I thought was lesser than the Yankees in the postseason. I was wrong. Toronto's brand of baseball ran circles around the Yankees in the playoffs, and I think the Yankees need to adjust now to accommodate for that. Forget about even the Dodgers. The difference with me and the Yankees is they say, that was just a fluke. And we'll see what happens, but even if both are true, the Yankees are good and can be a championship contender, And also, you still could want to upgrade your team. If the Dodgers can do it with those big guys that they added after winning back-to-back World Series, then why the hell can't the Yankees do something to enhance their ball club? Ryan Weathers? I mean, come on, guys. That's the issue. They'll be good. They'll be dangerous. But there's still no excuse for not upgrading the ball club. Couple more here before we have some fun with Six with Sal, the debut of Six with Sal, where we bring in Bada Booms. We'll have a little bit of a fun draft here. We'll explain in a little bit. The panic that is set in from Giants fans because Todd Monken is taking the head coaching job in Cleveland is hysterical. A week ago, 2 weeks ago, everybody's bowing down at the feet of the great John Harbaugh. And now everybody's worried about losing the offensive coordinator that they wanted to bring in. I'm not saying it's a good thing. What I'm saying is you got the head coach. It should be about the head coach, not the coordinators. And if you are concerned by not having the offensive coordinator, Monken, that you really wanted, that is an indictment on Harbaugh. And that's a problem because maybe then the genius head coach, who, by the way, I would have hired, and I love Harbaugh, I don't think he's as good as Jim. I think Jim Harbaugh is a better football coach than John Harbaugh. But John Harbaugh clearly was the right hire for the Giants. There was nobody else that would even come close to his stratosphere as far as being the most desirable head coach, specifically even to the Giants. I think every team should have wanted Harbaugh, but specifically the Giants. This is exactly what they needed. But then don't tell me that, oh my God, Monkins, he went to the Browns. Now what? We're screwed. Who are we going to get? Jesus. I mean, guys, the head coach will figure it out. It's not about his offensive coordinator. It's about the head coach. That's the one thing, though, when I heard my buddy Nick Costos talking about this, he preferred Stefanski to Harbaugh. And I think Harbaugh's a better coach, but I can understand why he was saying this. Because you want in today's day and age, especially with a young quarterback to develop, I would want an offensive-minded head coach that is going to call the plays. That's what I would want. And that's not Harbaugh. Harbaugh's more of a legit head coach. So I love that too. That's me, old school, loving. I want the president of the organization on that field as the head coach. Like, that's the face of the team. He runs everything. He's in total control, overseeing all things. And that's what they have in Harbaugh. But I can understand why some people would prefer, in today's day and age, the offensive head coach who's going to be in control of everything as a head coach, but also oversee play calling and developing the quarterback and all those different things. And that's just not Harbaugh. So that's why it was important to bring in Monken. Now that Monken chooses the head coaching job, and as he should, it's a head coaching job in Cleveland, the Giants are going to get dinged by that. But it really shouldn't matter if Harbaugh is who we think that he is. So enough with the panic over losing Monken. I mean, big freaking deal. You're worried about the coordinators now. If you love Monken that much, make him the head coach. He would have taken that. Is it Harbaugh or is it Monken? God. Now, this is reason to panic. The Jets, and we talked a lot about this the last couple of days, the Jets hired Brian Duker. Brian Duker to be their defensive coordinator. This after flirting with Wink Martindale, Jim Leonard, his name came up there in rumors, and we talked about this, about Aaron Glenn. I think he's being forced by, I don't think Glenn just sat there, woke up and said, you know what, I'm going to take play calling in my own hands defensively. He brought in the guy he was comfortable with Steve Wilkes last year. I love the idea. It didn't work out. I understand the change. I would have hired a better defensive coordinator, not a no-name defensive coordinator, and let Aaron Glenn take over defensive play calling. I think that's coming from above. I don't think Glenn wanted any part of that. So if he's going to do that, that means the Jets aren't going to get the top names, because what defensive coordinator worth the salt is going to want to go somewhere where he can't call the plays? Like, nobody would. And then you see the Jets' dysfunction and, I don't know, insanity. Like, oh, I got it. This is Woody in the meetings. Guys, I got it. Why don't we call Gruden and see what he's doing? Maybe he'll be available to call offensive plays. Yeah, that's it. He's going to leave his job at Barstool to go be an offensive coordinator under Aaron Glenn. I mean, give me a break, dude. They could not be more lost. Anyway, that's the offensive side. Defensively, nobody's going to want to come here, so they settle on Brian Duker, who's familiar with Glenn from his days at Detroit, which is great. Okay, familiar guy, young guy, inexperienced, but now Glenn's going to be overseeing the defense, calling all the plays there. Recipe for disaster. Not to mention that I think it was Samini who had the report that the Jets interviewed him like once via Zoom before he got the job. What the fuck are they doing? I'm sorry. Seriously. Now, it's not my fault, but I'll apologize on behalf of the Jets to all Jet fans out there because it is unacceptable what has gone on here. And it's hard to imagine that just a year after changing a regime and bringing in a guy you believe in Aaron Glenn, that this has gone on in this offseason the way they have totally botched, maybe worse than I've ever seen before, a coordinating, coaching staff, whatever you want to say, situation. I don't recall. Maybe this has happened before and we just haven't, either I haven't paid attention to it or it hasn't been as reported as this one is. But this is as messy and embarrassing as a coaching staff hiring could possibly go, or hirings could possibly go. Total embarrassment. And sadly for the Jets, it's on brand. Speaking of on brand, time to debut a new segment. We'll do this throughout the course of the expansion of this podcast. 10 episodes in. We want to bring some structure to the show. How to make sure Bada Booms was fit to be able to handle such things. So we came up with an idea. It's actually Bada Boom's idea. I named it 6 with Sal. And, because we used to do the power up on BT and Sal every Thursday. So here on the Sal Licata Show podcast, we're going to do 6 with Sal every Thursday, where Bada Booms and I, and this was his idea, will snake draft. Right, Bada Booms, that you want to do? You want to snake draft? You can pop in now. I'm queuing you up to like pop in, and you don't. And then other times you do pop in when I don't want you in. We got to get on the same page to get, like, I'm talking about, generally when I'm talking about you and building up to a segment, that means, okay, it's your time to come in without me having to explain it. You know what I'm saying?
Episode 10. Episode
10. Okay,
10.
so it was your idea to do the snake draft style. So similar to any list of things, instead of me giving a list of my, let's say, top 5, or Bada Boom's giving a list of his top 5, what we're going to do is 6 with Sal, 6 total picks, snake draft style. So it means we each get 3 picks. Okay? Mm-hmm. You understand the rules, Bada Booms? That's right. I'm explaining it right. We're good with that?
Yeah. I think on this specific one, when you go into it, there's another set of rules I want to make sure you explain.
Okay. Well, no, I want to get the whole thing out there first of what we're going to do. This is every Thursday, Sal Licata Show podcast, 6 with Sal. Okay, what were you going to say?
No, excuse me. That's what I said.
Looking good today. You got the special blazer on. Good for you, Bada Booms.
It's for our guests that people will soon learn about that you should definitely mention at the end of the show. I forgot to mention it in the pre-show meeting.
Well, I don't know if I want to preview it if he's not on yet. Like, what happens?
No, you don't got to preview it. Just say it at the end.
Well, we're scheduled to have a guest that we're going to tape after this episode that's going to air tomorrow. So you're going to be now wearing the same thing. You didn't realize that. Like, you'll be wearing that same thing Thursday and then on Friday's episode.
Yeah. Will you not be wearing the same thing too?
Good point. Yeah, that's a good point. I probably will be. I mean, maybe I could change, but you're wearing that special thing for our guests. Anyway, so we'll reveal the guest. I just, it's not about the guest right now. It's about 6 with Sal. You know what I'm saying?
It's about Sal Licata.
Here's the thing. It is a wrestling theme because our guest is going to be a WWE superstar ahead of Saturday's Royal Rumble. So the topic today for 6 with Sal is WWE entrance songs. Best entrance songs, in our opinion. We get to pick 6, 3 each, which ones we would draft. First 3. Now, the caveat is each team in this case, my team and Bada Boom's team, has to take at least one entrance song pre-2K and post-2K. So I just can't line up my 3 songs from the 80s or 90s. Same thing for Bada Booms. He can't do 3 songs from post-2K. So it makes this work a little bit harder. Although for me, not that much, because there were already a couple of songs from post-2K that I would have been targeting anyway as my draft picks. Now, we haven't discussed this, Bada Booms. It is snake style. Who's going first?
I was going to let you go first. You're our glorious host.
You're sure you want to do that?
Yeah.
Because I'm the veteran here and the experienced one here.
Okay. Can we not have equal ball knowledge? Like,
You talked about ball knowledge yesterday, and then you confused Roy White and Roy Williams. You want to get into
Yeah,
that a little bit?
one person caught that. I thought more people were gonna catch that.
No. One person commented on that.
Yeah,
More people caught it. They just didn't comment on it. You're
yeah,
talking about Roy Williams. I'm like, yeah, the great coach. And by the way, there was another Roy Williams that came to my mind, the safety for the Cowboys. I don't even know if you know him. I knew where you were
yeah.
going, but it didn't really compute to me. And then right after the fact, it was like, yo, Roy White, you're talking about?
At least I didn't say
You,
Roy Orbison. That would have been bad.
no, that would have been good. I love Roy Orbison, and we know who he
Really?
is. Yeah, yeah, huge Roy Orbison fan. My father loved Roy Orbison, so I love him too.
Traveling
But
Bullberries?
I don't know about that, but I know about Roy
Oh.
Orbison. You claimed you came on and said you know ball. Oh, Roy Williams, like you're dropping some knowledge, and I'm like, what? Yeah, come on, you like the Jets. You embarrassed yourself on that one, Bada Booms. Roy
You like
White.
the Jets, you embarrassed yourself. What does
I'm
that
saying
have to do with this kind?
I'm saying you're like, not you like,
Yes.
you're like the Jets and embarrass yourself here. All right, you want to do 6 foot Sal or not?
Yeah, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. And am I starting this? You want me to have the first pick?
Please do.
With the first ever pick in 6 foot Sal, Sal selects for WWE theme songs. You made it easy for me here. I gave you a chance. I gotta go Cena. Come on, man. Cena off the board. Now, I wanted this one anyway. Would have been my first pick if we didn't have the rules in place. Pre 2K, post 2K, probably not. I would have then maybe run the risk of you taking that and then me having to take a second or third choice there. But I mean, John Cena, arguably one of the greats of all time. And when that music hits, I mean, that is even though I'm not the same fan as I was, I'm not the same fan now as I was when I was growing up as a kid in the 80s or early 90s. That song to me still resonates, still hits as much as any song ever. I got to go John Cena, number one pick.
Those horns are iconic. I was not a Cena fan growing up, but when you hear the horns, it's business. You know what I mean?
Yes. No, I don't know
Yeah,
what the
I was
horns
trying to
are.
in the song.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like,
Not bad.
I
It's
was I,
bada booms. You could have your own song like that. There you go.
Ooh, I like that. We'll get Cena and the trademark in studio since we have a
Yeah.
big,
Okay.
I like doing a little like after explaining the pick. So I like that from you. That was good. With
Okay. So
Bada
now
Booms,
you have picks 2 and 3.
that I do like the
Okay.
Jets. I have 2 picks in the first this year. If you know what I'm saying, there, Sally boy.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
So I'm gonna try to engage the OG audience right now with my first pick. I'm gonna
All
go
right.
with a legend even before he was in WWE. The American Dream, baby, Dusty Rhodes.
Wow. Okay.
I'm gonna go
Dusty
with the
Rhodes.
American Dream song. I'm not sure what song he used pre WWF WWE, but that's an iconic song. America Dream, legend. That's all I want to say.
It is a great one. I will admit I was not going to select that one.
Mhm.
But that is a great memorable song. It would help if we could play these songs, obviously with restrictions,
We'll
limitations.
do it
We
on
can't.
social. We'll do it on social.
Okay. So you could figure that out, Bada Booms, put all that together.
That's why I was singing. So I've already done 2 I've already sung 2 of them, if you will.
I like it. Keep it going. So you have Cena number 1 off the board, and now you, Bada Booms, with your first pick, you select American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, number 3 as we snake back around.
The number 3rd pick, yes. My second overall pick. Bada Booms will select Randy Orton's Voices. So Randy Orton's got a few theme song. Voices, I think, is for this era. Even over the last 20 years, I hear Voices in my head. Iconic, dude. Especially when he was a heel.
Is that the one he uses now or no?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So like
When they
when I
go
was
to
at
France.
SummerSlam with it was him and Jelly Roll, that Orton one is okay. All right, there you go. So now I'm up with 2 picks, right?
Yes. Shout out Jelly
This
Roll.
is tough. So okay, so the draft here, 6 with Sal, the first draft, I am gonna get all the songs that I want because I would not have taken Dusty, I would not have taken Orton. And this makes it a little bit more challenging. Although I will say with the second pick of the second round, 4th pick overall, this is another no-brainer. Dude, come on. Hogan, Real American. Start slow. I am a real. Oh, come on, man. And then having that song hit. Do you know how many times? Now, Bada Booms, this was before your time, but God, as a young kid, I remember being at parties and Royal Lumber parties and watching Hogan win those back-to-back years. It was 89 and 90 and whatever main event, WrestleMania 7 or WrestleMania 5, obviously not WrestleMania 6, WrestleMania 3. Like Hogan wins, celebrate, and hear that song. God, That is, I mean, it was hard to. Who do you think, Bada Boom? So I got both Cena and Hogan. Which one do you think is the more iconic theme song yourself?
That's a good question because it's era perspective.
Yeah.
Personally, I think I would say Cena, but the Rick Derringer song was a big song without Hogan. Like that, they used that song for
Yeah.
somebody else.
Yeah. Not the Can-Am
Paul Orndorff.
Connection. No, 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 no. It was Mike Rotunda and Barry Windham.
Yes,
Who were they called? I forget it was not the Can-Am Connection. What was it?
the father of the late great, the great
Yes.
Bray
Can
Wyatt.
you look it up real quick? What they were
Yes,
called? Their tag. I should know this. It's on the tip of my tongue here. I don't know what the hell it is. What was the
I'm
name of
looking it
that
up now.
team? Rotunda, Barry Windham. They used that song before.
The U.S.
Anyway,
Express,
there you go.
which
U.S.
makes sense.
Express.
Real American.
Yeah. But when Hogan took it over, and then, they did the music video with it, but God, that song hits even when Hogan would come out in the later years. Man, I don't know if there's anything better than that. Certainly not for me, who grew up a Hulkamaniac in that era, but Cena and Hogan, those two got to be on par. All right. My third pick, I have it definitively. Now, there are a lot of great ones. I'm going to be missing out here. And at the end of this, we'll compare. You can put this up on social, see which team is better. Let the people vote on that. Another idea from Bada
We're gonna
Booms
do a
here.
poll. Yeah, poll.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to go with, this is a song that if you paid attention to BT and Sal, you would know. It was part of the inspiration behind the pick segment that we would do every Friday, the Perfect Parlay pick segment, Mr. Perfect theme song. He was also one of my favorites. I love that song. Da-na, 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 da-na. Now, it sucks I have to leave out King Harley Race, which I use for King Cohen. I love that theme song as well. The King WWE entrance song for Harley was great, and I think they use that also for Haku. I don't know about Hacksaw. Anyway, I am going with Mr. Perfect theme song as my third and final pick. So I have Cena, Hogan, and Perfect. You, Bada Booms, have Dusty, Randy Orton voices, and the final pick is.
Yes, I want to get quick thing on Mr. Perfect, the great
Yeah.
another sadly who we lost early, Kurt Hennig, so underrated, like incredibly underrated.
Yes.
He could have been the world champion if they gave him. He did
It was
everything
great.
perfect.
He was a great Intercontinental champion.
I think he could have been the world champion.
And that era maybe was a little too small.
He was ahead of his time.
That's exactly. That's pre-Bret Hart. I mean, he's a great wrestler, dude. The perfect plex, those vignettes, spitting the gun out and hitting it all
throwing
the
the
time.
ball to himself.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a great, I don't know if you watch WWE Vault, but there's a great channel on YouTube.
Yeah.
After you subscribe to the Sal Licata Show podcast and smash that like button, yo, go check out WWE Vault and watch it. There's behind the scenes. There's one about Mr. Perfect trying to get the dartboard, trying to hit the bullseye on it, and it's freaking funny because he just can't do it. Anyway, but yes, all those vignettes were great. All right, you ready for your final pick? The final pick of the first ever 6-foot Sal draft?
Yeah, I'm stuck between two, but I think I'm going to go with one, and I'll say which one I was stuck between after.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Cult of Personality by Living Color, CM Punk. I think iconic song as it is, but what makes it perfect with when Punk comes out is the TV static. I think that's just so fitting, Look in my eyes. Punk has like two songs that like that, and I don't know, you probably don't know Kill Switch Engage. This Fire Burns is also a great song. But my other choice that I was between was Edge, Metalingus by Alter Bridge, on this day.
Yeah, another great one. I mean, look,
clearly.
we only did 6. We could probably do 60. There were so
100%.
many. I liked when Fandango used to come out with his thing, that was a thing. I'm not a huge fan of his, but that entrance song was fun.
Johnny Curtis just retired. JTC.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
There's a lot that I'm even forgetting. I like Cody Rhodes.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of who else.
You're talking about the Downstate one, or are you talking about the Smoke and Mirrors?
Whichever one now.
Yes. Downstate.
That he does. I like that. There's a lot of great entrances. It's impossible. I'm forgetting a million of them. You could go back to Jake the Snake song or Ultimate Warriors theme music or $1 Million. There's great classics and there's great current ones. But these are the definitive 6-foot sound now. That's it, Bada Booms. We don't get a redo on this one. WWE entrance songs. I mean, maybe we could do like a second version of this somewhere down the road.
We easily could.
Cena, are you happy with your team? I have Cena, Hogan, and Mr. Perfect. You have Dusty, Orton, and CM Punk. I
Mhm.
think I'm going to win in the landslide on this ballot. You think you have a chance here or no?
I don't think I have a chance. I mean, I think I might get some, like, love in the comments by, like, the fans and stuff, but it's so tough because, like, this is the first one, and I kinda wanted to give, like, my thoughts, and if I wanted to give my, like, my heart picks, you know? A shout out Bret Hart. Ch
And
you
whatever,
know,
they're your top three. If that's your top three, fine. I think my team is better. Would you have
it
taken Cena if
changes,
I didn't?
though. You know what I mean?
Well,
For me, it
no.
changes all the time, so but this is what I felt like right now. So I wanna give the shout out to the American Dream.
See, I think if I did this over again, I'd have the same exact three.
I don't think I would. It changes all the time.
But that's a
Like,
problem. Like my three are definitive three. What do you mean it changes all the time? You have to have like your three best. If you love these three, fine. If we did it again, it can't just be, well, I like that one too. I just gave you some I like. I like other ones, but these are your best three. 6 foot Sal, it's got to be your best three.
I think I took 2 of 3 that are, like, most top 10 over of all time, like, voices. Have you ever seen when they go to France and, like, the whole crowd, like, everybody in the arena is singing that
Yeah.
song?
Okay.
I think
So you're
that's
good.
definitively.
So Dusty's the only one that you were just like you want. Well, and also you were forced to take one from the pre 2K era.
Well, you know what my other pick was I was gonna tell you?
What?
It'd be the $1 Million Man. It was between that or
Yeah. Okay.
Dusty the $1 Million Man.
Okay. Good one.
Everybody's got a price, Sal. Everybody's got a
Um,
price.
last thing here before we say goodbye on the 10th episode of the Sal Licata Show podcast. We're making benchmarks now. This is history, episode 10.
Mhm.
Have you, sticking on the wrestling theme for a second, did you finish Unreal like I
I
told you
did.
to?
Yes, I finished it last
And
night.
I loved it. I was talking to somebody else last night about this at SNY, and I've had this conversation with you. I loved it, but I'm not like locked into the current product. So
Mhm.
for the casual fan like me, I would rather watch Unreal and get the behind the scenes stuff, especially with SummerSlam and the Rollins thing, which is one of my favorite storylines actually ever. I just happened to pay attention from that from afar. Then we had Rollins on in studio, BT and I did. Then I was at SummerSlam that night. So I love that whole storyline with the fake injury with him. So getting behind the scenes, look at that stuff or seeing what goes into it and learning about these wrestlers, I love it. But I also know why some diehard current day fans don't want anything to do with the show because they don't want to have anything ruined. And I think you fall into that category, although I made you watch it.
I heard a great theory online regarding, similar to the Rollins thing, that BT and Sal being fired from the fan was work, and that you're gonna walk into the studio and drop the crutches.
I'll tell you this: they should have been filming that. There would have been some great scenes there behind the scenes going on with that if it was an Unreal at the fan.
I think, but instead of crutches, like, you come in with a wig on, and, you take the wig off and to be revealed, it was me, Austin, and Sal Licata, and you're back.
Oh God. No,
That,
well, that's definitely not happening. I could tell you that was in fact a shoot. That was that was not.
that's good.
BT and
That's good.
Sal is no more. It is over. Yeah.
Yeah.
No curtain pulling here. Okay.
No, but I don't I ended up not, like, disliking it as much, but I would say now I'm not as into it as I used to be. When I was growing up, I was into every kind of wrestling, every aspect of it, every promotion from the smallest, 10 people in a high school gym to the federation itself. What I gets me back into it is, like, I watch people who I saw, like, coming up, rising through the ranks. Now they're finally making it to WWE, and that kinda is like, "Oh, yeah, that was my guy," or, "I met him at a high school gym show, like, I wanna support." So, there's got like, I'll give you a perfect example of, our guest, one of his partners, I'm not no don't know if you're familiar with Bronson Reed, big
Mm-hmm.
Bronson Reed,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Tsunami. He used to be a huge, wrestler well, he is now too, but, in Australia named Jonah, and I was always a big fan of his. So when I saw that he was making his way up in WWE, I'm like, You gotta support him. That's one of my guys right there." But to answer the question, I know I'm deviating. I didn't dislike it as much as I thought I would.
Okay, well, good. Then you get into it. Did you ever think you were going to be a wrestler at some point? You have like maybe a build that might fit in a squared circle. Did you ever think about wanting to be a
I don't know if
wrestler?
I ever mentioned that to you, but, like, yes, like, I was gonna go to wrestling school after high school. That
I'm not
and
surprised at that.
broadcast, the Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
Yeah, that's where I went. Did you know that?
Yeah, I would have been able to do both of those things at the same time. Did you go
Uh,
there?
I did go there,
Do
yes,
they honor
and
you
then
there?
I have no idea. That's a story for another podcast. That had a part in me. The first time I was at the fan and got in some trouble there, so I could explain that story maybe one day. You have a promo for us that you would have you should have done like WWE Toughen Up. You could have been great on that, I feel like.
No, my thing was I always wanted to like respect the business. Like it wasn't go right to WWE. It's like I wanted to go to Japan first because that's like like an insane lineage in Japan. You know, and I wanted to carve my name on the independent scene. I used to be. I don't know if you're familiar with Ring of Honor. I used to be a huge Ring of Honor fan.
Yeah, I know it. I don't. I mean, I know of it. You're only
But
22. You had all these things about going to this, going to that. You still could do all of it. Why don't you get back in the ring? Brian Myers could get you in the ring. Maybe you and I a little
create a
tag
pro,
match.
create a pro.
Yeah, create a pro. Exactly.
Let's see how far this thing goes. If this thing goes further than I expect, maybe it'll be like Pat McAfee, where I can just perfectly transition. A lot of people don't
Is
know
that what
this.
you're trying
Sal.
to be today, McAfee, with your blazer and your chains and your tank
No,
top?
I don't want to call out McAfee, and I know like there's an age difference and whatever, but like I was doing this way before McAfee. I was doing this way before McAfee.
You're a sicko. All right, that does
you want a
for
promo though?
You got one?
Well, when you ask me to do it, like I'm not going to be able to do it more. You give me a topic, and I'll be able to cut a promo on it.
It could be like any topic, or it has to be
Give
a
me
wrestling topic.
Give me a topic. How about Woody Johnson?
Why don't? Huh?
How about Woody Johnson?
Why don't? No. That's come on. That's not a promo. That's a sports debate. Why don't you? So we're hoping to have
promo.
Seth Rollins tomorrow. Seth Rollins is supposed to be our guest tomorrow. Why don't you do a promo as if you were taking on Seth Rollins at the Royal Rumble?
I don't want to be that guy who's trying
What
to.
do you mean
show
you don't
him
want to be that
up.
guy? You want to do a promo or not? Do it.
Now you put me on this. Can I do a promo on you?
Yeah. Yes. Go ahead. You're taking on me at the Royal Rumble. Go ahead.
I might have to prepare something for this. You know what I mean?
Bada booms. You could either do it or you can't do it. This is your time to shine.
Can we come back to this? Can we come back to this?
That does it for this episode of the Sal Licata Show. We're expected to have Seth Rollins join us tomorrow for half the podcast and talk about the doubleheader, the Royal Rumble, and also Unreal. Looking forward to talking with Seth about that. So stay tuned for that. Remember, download, rate, subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Smash that like button. We'll see you tomorrow.